Aster Basics. Hey Asters! Have you ever wondered how your computer listens, sees, speaks, and remembers things? It's all thanks to Computer Peripherals, the amazing gadgets that help computers work. Today, we're going on an exciting journey to discover keyboards, mice, monitors, printers, and so much more. Let's dive in. Input devices, used to give commands to the computer. Keyboard. A computer's way of listening to your words, just like writing in a notebook. Fun fact, the longest word you can type using only the top row of letters is typewriter. Mouse. Acts as a pointer, guiding your computer just like a TV remote changes channels. Fun fact, the first computer mouse was made of wood in 1964. Touchpad. Works like drawing on a smooth surface, your finger becomes the mouse. Fun fact, some touchpads have hidden buttons that you can click by pressing harder. Joystick. A must-have for gaming, helping you steer, fly, and race with ease. Fun fact, the first joystick was made for controlling fighter jets before it was used for video games. Scanner. Turns papers into digital images, almost like a photocopier but for your computer. Fun fact, some scanners can even read QR codes to quickly open websites or apps. Microphone. Captures your voice and lets the computer hear you, just as a telephone does. Fun fact, the world's first microphone was invented in 1877 and was used in telephones. Webcam. A digital eye that sends your image to others during video calls. Fun fact, the first webcam was used to watch a coffee pot in a university, so people knew when fresh coffee was ready. Stylus/pen tablet. A digital pen that lets you draw or write on a screen just like a real pen and paper. Fun fact, some stylus pens don't need batteries, they work using electromagnetic signals. Barcode Scanner. Reads barcodes to quickly input information, just like cashiers use at stores. Fun fact, the first item ever scanned with a barcode was a pack of chewing gum in 1974. Output devices, used to display results from the computer. Monitor. The computer's way of showing you things, much like a TV brings pictures to life. Fun fact, the world's first computer monitors only had green text on a black screen, no colors. Printer. Transfers what's on your screen onto paper, just like magic. Fun fact, some modern 3D printers can print houses, food, and even human organs. Speakers. Give the computer a voice, turning digital sounds into real ones. Fun fact, the biggest speaker in the world is taller than a 5-story building. Headphones. A personal speaker for your ears, so only you can hear the sound. Fun fact, some headphones block outside noise by using opposite sound waves. Projector. Expands your screen onto a wall or board, making everything larger than life. Fun fact, early projectors used candles instead of bulbs to display images. Storage devices, used to store data. Hard drive, HDD and SSD. The computer's memory chest, keeping all files safe and organized. Fun fact, the first hard drive, 1956, was as big as a fridge but stored less than a modern USB drive. USB flash drive. A tiny but mighty storage device, holding important files in your pocket. Fun fact, a single USB can store more books than a big library. Memory card, SD card. A camera's best friend, saving every photo and video for later. Fun fact, the largest memory cards today can store more data than 500,000 floppy disks used in the past. External hard drive. Works as an extra storage locker, keeping backup copies of important files. Fun fact, some external hard drives are waterproof and can survive being dropped. Optical discs, CD, DVD, Blu-ray. Discs that store music, movies, and games. Fun fact, a Blu-ray disc can hold over 50 gigabytes, that's more than 10 regular DVDs. Network Attached Storage, NAS. A special storage device connected to the internet so multiple people can access files. Fun fact, some businesses store petabytes of data on NAS, that's 1,000,000 gigabytes. Network devices, used for internet and communication. Modem. The computer's post office, sending and receiving internet signals. Fun fact, the sound of old modems connecting to the internet sounded like a robot singing. Router. Directs internet traffic like a busy intersection, making sure every device gets connected. Fun fact, the Wi-Fi signal gets weaker if there's too much water around, like fish tanks. Wi-Fi adapter. Gives your computer invisible wings to connect wirelessly. Fun fact, Wi-Fi signals travel at the speed of light. Network switch. Like a traffic cop, making sure internet signals reach the right devices. Fun fact, some network switches can handle millions of data transfers per second. Bluetooth adapter. Lets computers connect wirelessly to Bluetooth devices like headphones and keyboards. Fun fact, Bluetooth is named after a Viking king who united different tribes, just like Bluetooth connects devices. Internal components, essential for a computer's performance. CPU, Central Processing Unit. The mastermind of the computer, handling all the thinking and decisions. Fun fact, modern CPUs can perform trillions of calculations per second. RAM, Random Access Memory. Like a quick access drawer, holding things the computer is currently using. Fun fact, if your computer had unlimited RAM, it could remember everything at once. Graphics card, GPU. Turns numbers into stunning visuals, just like an artist painting a masterpiece. Fun fact, the best GPUs today can render graphics that look as real as movies. Sound card. Converts digital audio into real sound for speakers and headphones. Fun fact, some high-end sound cards are used to create studio-quality music. Power Supply Unit, PSU. Keeps the computer alive by providing the electricity it needs. Fun fact, a gaming PC's power supply can be strong enough to power a small refrigerator. Cables and connectors, used for power and data transfer. Power cable. Supplies electricity to your computer and monitor. Fun fact. The world's longest extension cord is over 1,600 feet long, that's about 5 football fields. HDMI cable. Delivers high-quality video and sound, perfect for movies or gaming. Fun fact, HDMI cables can carry both video and sound at the same time. VGA cable, older display connection. A classic display cable used for monitors before HDMI became popular. Fun fact, VGA was introduced in 1987 and is still used in some older projectors and computers today. DisplayPort cable, modern alternative to HDMI. A high-performance cable for gaming and professional monitors. Fun fact, DisplayPort cables can support 8K resolution for super detailed images. USB cable. A universal bridge connecting different devices for charging and data transfer. Fun fact, the name USB stands for Universal Serial Bus, and it really is universal. Lightning cable, for Apple devices. Used to charge and transfer data between iPhones, iPads, and Macs. Fun fact, lightning cables are reversible, you can plug them in either way. Thunderbolt Cable, high-speed data transfer. One of the fastest cables, transferring large files instantly. Fun fact, Thunderbolt cables can transfer data at speeds up to 40 gigabits per second, that's 5,000 times faster than early internet speeds. Charging cable. Feeds power into devices, keeping them ready for action. Fun fact, did you know wireless charging works through magnetic fields? Audio jack, 3.5mm AUX, optical audio cable. Connects speakers and headphones to devices for clear sound. Fun fact, the 3.5mm audio jack design has been around for over 100 years. Ethernet cable. A high-speed internet highway, ensuring a smooth connection. Fun fact, the longest Ethernet cable ever made was more than 2,000 meters long. SATA Cable. Connects internal hard drives and SSDs to the computer's motherboard. Fun fact, SATA stands for Serial Advanced Technology Attachment, sounds futuristic. Other commonly used devices. Laptop. A portable computer that lets you work or play anywhere. Fun fact, the first laptop in 1981 weighed over 10 kilograms, 22 pounds. Tablet. A touchscreen computer, perfect for drawing, reading, or browsing. Fun fact, the first touchscreen tablet was invented in the 1960s, long before iPads. Smartwatch. A mini computer on your wrist, often syncing with phones and laptops. Fun fact, the first smartwatch was released in 1998, but it had no touchscreen. Docking station. Turns a laptop into a powerful workstation by adding extra ports and connections. Fun fact, some docking stations allow laptops to connect to 4 or more monitors at once. External cooling fan. Helps keep laptops and gaming PCs cool by increasing airflow. Fun fact, the fastest cooling fans in gaming PCs can spin at over 5,000 revolutions per minute. Wow! That was a lot of cool gadgets. Now you know how computers take input, show output, store files, and connect to the internet. What's your favorite computer peripheral? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your family and friends, subscribe to Aster Basics, and hit the bell so you don't miss more fun learning videos. See you next time.